Disclaimer. This video is only made for educational purposes, and it includes some stuff you might don't want to hear about. So if you are a soft-hearted person, you can skip this video.
The barn is full of hanging pig meats around it.
No just pig meat, sir. There is human meat too.
What the?
Hey there everyone, this is Mr. Uncanny. Robert William Pickton, also known as the pig farmer killer or the butcher, was a Canadian serial killer and pig farmer. After dropping out of school, he left a butcher's apprenticeship to begin working full-time at his family's pig farm and inherited it in the early 1990s. Between 1995 and 2001, Pickton is believed to have murdered at least 26 women, many of them sex workers from Vancouver's downtown east side. Pickton would confess to 49 murders to an undercover RCMP officer disguised as a cellmate, going on to say he wanted to make it an even 50, but thought he was caught because he got sloppy. But how did all this started? What happened in Robert's life that turned him into a serial killer? Let's go back to 50 years of Robert's life when he was born in 1949, October 24th. A family of pig farmers in Port Coquitlam, British Columbia, Robert and his younger brother, David Francis Pickton, began working at the farm at an early age, and their mother was very demanding, prioritizing the pigs over the brothers' personal hygiene and forcing them to work long hours raising the farm's livestock. Louise often sent the brothers to school in unwashed, dirty clothes, reeking of manure and earning them the nickname Stinky Piggy from their classmates. Robert was strongly attached to her and rarely interacted with his abusive father. He struggled in school, being put in a special class after failing grade 2. At the age of 12, he began raising a calf which became his beloved pet. 2 weeks later, after not finding it after school, he was told to check the barn and was distraught to find it slaughtered. Pickton dropped out of school in 1963 and began working as a meat cutter. He continued to do so for nearly 7 years before leaving to work full-time at the farm. In 1978 and 1979, the parents died and the siblings inherited the pig farm, selling parts for 5.16 million Canadian dollars. Pickton became wealthy by selling parts of his farmland to property developers as the economy of the Lower Mainland grew exponentially in the 1980s to 1990s. He often hosted parties at an ad hoc nightclub called Piggy's Palace, which attracted the political and economic elites of the Lower Mainland along with the Hells Angels. Starting in the 1990s, women living in the Lower Mainland, most notably on the impoverished downtown east side of Vancouver, had started to go missing, leading to speculation in the media that a serial killer was operating. The majority of the missing women were First Nations, drug addicts, and prostitutes. The Pickton brothers were eventually sued by Port Coquitlam officials for violating zoning ordinances, neglecting the agriculture for which it had been zoned, and having altered a large farm building on the land for the purpose of holding dances, concerts, and other recreations. These events attracted as many as 2,000 people, and members of the Hells Angels were known to frequent the farm. An employee of Pickton found several purses belonging to the missing women from the downtown east side and reported Pickton to the police. The police conducted 3 searches of the farm, but found no evidence. In June 1999, the police received a tip that Pickton had a freezer full of human flesh in his farmhouse. On February 6, 2002, police executed a search warrant for illegal firearms at the Pickton property. Both Pickton brothers were arrested, and police obtained a second warrant, using what they had seen on the property to search the farm as part of the BC Missing Women investigation. Personal items belonging to missing women were found at the farm, which was sealed off by members of the joint RCMP, Vancouver Police Department Task Force. The following day, Pickton was charged with weapons offenses. Both Picktons were later released, and Robert was kept under police surveillance. On February 22, 2002, Robert Pickton was arrested again and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of Serena Abotsway and Mona Wilson. On April 2, 3 more charges were added for the murders of Jacqueline McDonnell, Diane Rock, and Heather Bottomley. On September 20th, 12 more charges were added, and bringing the total to 27. Slowly, all the crimes of Pickton brothers were coming in the light. On March 10, 2004, the government revealed that Pickton may have ground up human flesh and mixed it with pork that he sold to the public. The province's health authority later issued a warning. Another claim was made that he fed the bodies directly to his pigs. In 2004, lab testing showed that the DNA of 2 women, Borhaven and Ellis, were on the items. In 2007, he was convicted on 6 counts of second-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole for 25 years. The longest possible sentence for second-degree murder under Canadian law. At the time the discovery of Picton's crimes sparked widespread outrage and forced the Canadian government to acknowledge the crisis of missing and murdered Indigenous women. Picton died in 2024 after being attacked in prison by another inmate. The prisoner speared Picton in the head with a broken broom-like handle.
Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more such content. You can also suggest me content on my Instagram account. Must follow me on Instagram too for more additional content.